Yo, the Foul Hooked Whitey's back. Episode 2. Euro is dead. So in part 1, I kind of jumped all over the fucking place. I want to kind of like touch on some aspects of my opinion on this about the fact that Euro nymphing has peaked. It's over. It's over. Okay. So number 1, the rods. The rods in Euro nymphing, as anybody that's not listening to this podcast will know, are goofy to fucking begin with. I mean, a 10.5 foot 3-weight. A 10.5 foot fucking 3-weight. I mean, what the fuck is that? Have you ever wiggled one in a shop? It's like, it makes a fucking fiberglass rod seem like the stiffest, hardest dick on the planet. I mean, it really does. And so then to me, and have I cast a Euro rod? Of course not. Is my opinion based on any experience? Of course not. It's all Foul Hooked Whitey pontificating, which is what I do best. But nonetheless, I've cast a lot of rods, and I wiggle a 10.5 foot 3-weight, and I mean, I think about, okay, a couple of weighted flies, something fucking ridiculous like 12, 14 foot a leader. Shit. Weird from top to bottom. Okay? These rods, they're the last thing I would just want to cast in terms of fucking rod casting enjoyment. I think that's part of the rub, part of the knock when it comes to Euro nymphing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, catching trout, oh my God, yes. Effective in terms of the reach and the high sticking and all that bullshit technique. Fuck, obviously it works great. But, man, where's the part about casting a rod? Yeah, it's a rod. But where is that? Where is that the elegant, slow action of an R.L. Winston or the power and the accuracy of a nice Sage? They'll make Euro rods, no doubt, but I'm just saying the actual act of casting a rod, a fly cast is the whole fucking reason we do it. And a 10.5 foot 3-weight to me, it's like fucking with a nymph dick, with a lip dick. Just isn't my style. The fly line, the Euro fly line, is basically a 40, 50, 60 foot fucking, running line. And there's reasons for that. And that's because it's part of the technique, no doubt. But again, it lends to the Foul Hooked Whitey's, opinion that by Euro nymphing and racking up those fucking trout and whitefish, the bottom line is you're not enjoying casting that rod and you're not enjoying casting that fucking line. At least not the way I do. The leaders, technical. I mean, probably not, but a lot of the Euro thing has just evolved into this, like, as narrow a diameter of tippet and leader as man makes. I mean, think of that shit. This is not fucking technical Henry's Fork, the ranch, dry fly fishing, okay? This is, we're talking like 5, 6, 7X, I think, in some instances, all for the point of the immediate drop of the bug, the weighted perdigon, right? It just kind of ended up being one of those things where it's like the technique made the sport more effective in terms of pleasing an angler with catching everything, but it dumbed it down. Because, I mean, I'm talking, I'm sure that some of these Euro nymphers are really fucking good at what they do. But again, for me, that line, throwing that weight forward floating line off a quality fly rod. I mean, whew. I mean, shit. That's like playing catch with a baseball with a good buddy or your kid. That's what that's like. Casting a rod, casting that line is, like I said, the whole reason we do it. And that's damn near not applicable when it comes to Euro nymphing. I'm sure even Ray would agree with that. The other thing about the Euro craze has been how it really jacked up sales. I mean, Euro is a very impactful addition to the skill set part of being an avid fly fisherman. You're not really going to truly Euro nymph unless you've got the right rod. I believe that. As much as I'm a critical, sarcastic fucker, you're not Euro nymphing with a 9'5" weight. I mean, you're just not, for a bunch of reasons. Okay, but the point is that you got to have that rod. The lines are very affordable. So, you can get into a good Euro setup, pretty inexpensively. And yet, at the end of the day, it's something that at this point, I really believe a lot of anglers are going to get fucking bored with. And it's because of the lack of that physicality and sport. And yes, athleticism when it comes to demonstrating that cast with a regular 9'5" or whatever, and a good floating line. So that's why, to me, the sustainability of Euro nymphing, really, it comes down to that. Anybody that's out there fishing wants to rack up trout, of course. But Euro nymphing, as I've said, in my opinion, made the sport for success much easier. And you can certainly take the position, the stand. What in the fuck is wrong with that? I can hear Ray now. What the fuck is wrong with that? What's wrong with that is that, in my opinion, it goes against why you got into fly fishing to begin with. Because the principle of duping a trout on a fly, that's a challenge in itself, as opposed to bait or lure fishing, in my opinion. But the longer you're in it, the more routine levels of success get. Right? That drive to make it harder should really just be there. That, to me, is why a lot of fishermen with at least 2 decades plus in the sport transition to streamer fishing. I think even Ray could agree that streamer fishing, which has always been there for trout, but has certainly been there big time over the last 10, 15, 20 years, that streamer fishing is not a fad. It's not a phase. Dry fly fishing, though scoffed at as purist, elitist, etc., that also has been scoffed at. However, definitely not a phase. And the reason that, in the Foul Hooked Whitey's opinion, that Euro is dead is because Euro isn't interesting enough to keep an angler's lifetime attention. It just isn't. It misses out on that casting benefit to what we do as fly fishermen and women. It has a little bit of a dirty tinge to it because of the 100% total emphasis that it's nymph fishing. Well, I mean, I bet you there's some fucking, Euro fucking dry fly guys out there, but there's not a bunch. So it's a nymphing game, obviously. And at the end of the day, it's it's sissified in the sport in terms of a lot of people's impressions. And I'm not saying that like Euro guys are sissies at all. Fuck no. That's definitely not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the technique is viewed as subtly ridiculous. And it doesn't make any difference to me what anybody does as far as how they fish. Motherfucker comes in, wants to talk about Euro nymphing, I do the best I can. This arrogance, this know-it-all that the Foul Hooked Whitey spews is all for the studio. I've never treated anybody with disrespect that, what you're doing is sissified. Hell no. But culturally, within the sport, and culturally, based on the current level of interest, opinions, vibe, discussion, Euro is always going to have its fans. But what the Foul Hooked Whitey is saying, Euro nymphing to me is kind of like Live Golf, LIV Golf, which is a Saudi-backed golf league that has competed or tried to compete with the PGA the last 4 or 5 years, whatever. It's kind of like one of those things where there was a revolutionary impact to it because of how quickly it got both mediocre and advanced anglers on trout fish so effectively. I mean, holy fuck. Right? I mean, I believe even Ray told me one time, it's kind of like cheating. I'm not saying it's cheating. That's for sure. But what I am saying is that for what it's meant the last 5 to 7, 8, 10 years, it just doesn't mean as much anymore. Doesn't mean it's not going to be used in terms of competitions and legit fly fishing competitions everywhere. Shit works the best. You want to catch some fucking trout, you Euro nymph. That's good advice from the Foul Hooked Whitey. But here's the deal. No matter who you would ever try to impress in terms of your skill set, your competency, and your game as a fly fisherman, whoever that would be fucking be, if who that would be is educated in the sport, versed in the sport, has a broad spectrum grasp of the sport of fly fishing, you're never going to be big time respected because you're a great fucking Euro nympher. I am the Foul Hooked Whitey. That's the end of episode 2. Euro is dead. I'm out.